Corporation, and we're here today at the Jelly Belly Jelly Bean Factory in Fairfield, California. The company celebrates 3 decades of Jelly Belly beans. In 1991, 4 billion jelly beans were sold. We're about to go inside and take a tour to find out more about the makings and history of Jelly Belly beans. Come on, let's go! And we're here today at the Jelly Belly Factory with
Terry Wood, Administrative Assistant with the Visitor Center.
When was the Jelly Belly Jelly Bean first invented?
The Jelly Belly Jelly Bean was first invented in 1976. It was a collaboration with a Southern California candy maker named David Klein, who came to the then Herman Goelitz Confectionery Company with the idea to create a jelly bean that would have a true-to-life flavor.
What does the true-to-life flavor mean?
True-to-life flavor means that if it's a juicy pear Jelly Belly, for instance, it will taste like a pear, or if it's a cherry Jelly Belly, it will taste just like a cherry.
It sounds yummy. So what makes a Jelly Belly bean different from all the other jelly beans?
A Jelly Belly jelly bean is actually produced from the inside out. A regular jelly bean is a clear pectin unflavored center, to which they then add a flavored and colored shell. But a Jelly Belly jelly bean starts out with a flavored center, and then we wrap more flavoring and color around that center to finish off that true-to-life flavor bean.
How many Jelly Belly beans are there, and what are they?
Well, we have over 150 different flavors, and over the years we have some that do get discontinued, and we also are constantly making new flavors, such as pomegranate, which is one of our newest flavors on the market. We also have some of the not so yummy flavors that are in our new Bean Boozled packages that include flavors like booger and dirt and vomit, and all those count in our flavor line, but there's just too many to mention.
Those sound really yummy. Not. Do people actually like those flavors?
We get a lot of people that try them, believe it or not, every day, and we sell a lot of those beans. Now, whether or not they really like them or just like to take them home for a joke, we don't know. Don't want to tell, but I know that there's a lot of them that even I don't even want to try.
So what's your favorite flavor?
Well, my absolute flavor is strawberry cheesecake, but my second flavors are probably juicy pear and peach. But there's quite a few of them that I like, some that they've discontinued. One that I really liked before was red licorice and black forest cake, but we've actually discontinued those flavors.
Now those sound yummy. I see there's a lot of pictures of Ronald Reagan. What are they made of?
The 2 pictures downstairs that we have are actually made out of real Jelly Belly jelly beans. We call it bean art.
Why are there so many pictures of Ronald Reagan?
Well, Ronald Reagan plays a very important part in our history. Originally, when he was governor of California, the then Herman Goelitz Confectionery Company would send confections to our local government offices, and he was already a big fan of our candies and says that he ate them to help him kick a pipe smoking habit. Well, in 1976, when the Jelly Bellies were introduced, we were continuing to send him the candies, and he was an instant fan. His favorite flavors were the licorice and the coconut flavor.
Did Ronald Reagan help Jelly Belly jelly bean sales increase?
Absolutely. As a matter of fact, during the first 2 months of his presidency, Jelly Belly sales were behind approximately 22 months in production. So if you were a candy maker who had a little candy shop and wanted to sell Jelly Bellies, you had to wait almost 2 years to get your product in because we had that many orders.
Can you show us how Jelly Belly jelly beans are made?
I sure can. I can take you on a tour.
Okay, let's go.
Hey, now that we're all suited up, we're ready to go take our tour of the factory. Now, these are what we call a stage 2 Jelly Belly. We begin with a center. We allow the centers to dry, and then we add shells and more flavoring and color to the bean. When they're finished, we also dust them with powdered sugar and bring them to this area so that they can further dry before we polish them. So you'll see that they're not very bright, not very shiny, but they do have the Jelly Belly shape, and if you taste it, you'll see that it tastes like a finished bean. That's our caramel apple flavor.
This is a fun tour so far. Follow me. So what's this area over here?
This is part of our storage area where we keep some of the ingredients for the Jelly Bellies. For instance, in the large bags behind you, these contain 1 ton or 2,000 pounds of cornstarch. We use this not only in the creation of the syrup for the Jelly Belly, but it's also used in the molding trays to create the Jelly Belly center. We also have bags of sugar, almonds, And other types of ingredients such as flavorings that you'll see in the barrels to my right. These contain some of the flavorings such as 7-Up, Dr. Pepper, or even our very cherry flavor. And then a little further down at the end of the walkway, we have a giant refrigerator where we keep some of our more natural ingredients, such as our fresh fruit purees. We try to keep Jelly Bellies as natural and as fresh as possible, and so all of our ingredients have to be of very high quality. Now, for the safety of our guests, we do not go into the actual kitchen during our Jelly Belly University tour, but basically what takes place in our kitchen on a daily basis is the creation of about 60,000 pounds of what we call slurry. It's a liquid syrup that is the base for almost every confection we create. Not only the Jelly Belly, but also our gummies or our mellow cream confections or any other type that we're creating for the day. Basically, what we start out with are 4 natural ingredients, which are the corn syrup, corn starch, water, and sugar. And everything gets cooked in a central Dutch cooker. Actually, it's a jet cooker, I should say. Our jet cooker actually heats the candy up to 185 degrees Fahrenheit. And once we have that base slurry, it then gets pumped out into other kettles where we add the color and the flavoring. And it's here that the magic actually starts. It's in these kettles that the Very Cherry Jelly Belly will become Very Cherry, or the Juicy Pear, or whatever flavor we're creating. Now, once you've created the Jelly Belly center, it does have to be allowed to dry. This allows for some of the moisture to evaporate, and it gives the center a firmer texture. This typically takes anywhere from 1 to 3 days, depending on the flavor of the bean. After that time passes, we load approximately 200 pounds of a sugar-sanded Jelly Belly center into one of these stainless steel panning drums. Now, panning is actually a candy making technique that basically means to add a shell around the candy center. Once we've loaded the centers into the drums will rotate, similar to like a washing machine. And over the tops of those centers, we pour more of our liquid slurry and color and flavor. The beans will rotate, and it's this process that allows the Jelly Bellies to increase in size but maintain their Jelly Belly shape. We repeat a process called wetting and drying, which is adding the liquids and a layer of sugar to create a shell. And this is done approximately 4 times, building the Jelly Belly up approximately 30 to 50% in size. What we end up with is a stage 2 Jelly Belly jelly bean, which is definitely larger in size than the center, and it's been dusted with powdered sugar because it will be bucketed back out into a plastic tray like the ones to my right, and they'll be allowed to dry for another 1 to 3 days.
How many Jelly Belly beans do you make every week?
At the end of every week, we produce approximately 33 million Jelly Belly centers.
Too bad there's no such thing as smell-o-vision. It smells so good in here.
This is how we fill the sugar bins, and this is the granulated sugar that's used in between each of the wet layers when we're creating the shells around the Jelly Belly centers. Now, this is the regular granulated table sugar, and we use this to coat the centers of the Jelly Bellies, and it's also used in the syrups and in the ingredients. But this is an example of the sugar we use to put in between each wet layer and when we're making the shell. And if you feel that, you'll notice that it's a lot softer. It's really smooth. And this is important because it makes the shells of the Jelly Bellies very smooth and soft as opposed to crunchy and hard.
I wish we had taste-o-vision so that you guys could taste this.
Now, this is pouring the flavoring onto the centers of the bean as they spin into the drum. Now, this wet layer will then be followed by a layer of the thinner granulated sugar, and that creates one shell over the center of the beans. Now, this is an example of once we add the liquid layer to the center of the Jelly Belly, what it looks like. It's really goopy, very sticky. And so to this, we'll add the layer of the granulated sugar to help dry the shell of the bean. And this will again be followed by another wet layer and so on until we've completed 4 different shells around the bean.
Now, what area is this here?
This is actually one of the 3rd and final drying areas in the factory. When we complete a finished polished Jelly Belly, they all get loaded up into plastic trays, just like the ones you'll see behind us, and they'll be allowed to sit for about 1 to 3 days in this section. These are now completed, finished Jelly Bellies that have just one more process to go through, and that's sorting them out and putting the Jelly Belly stamp onto every single bean. A belly flop is any Jelly Belly that may be too large or it may be stuck to another bean but does not represent a true and original gourmet Jelly Belly jelly bean.
What do you do with the belly flops?
Well, we do actually package them and sell them, but only at our retail outlet stores, and they are sold at a discount, so they're a little bit cheaper than a regular, good Jelly Belly bean.
They still taste good though, right?
Absolutely, they have the same color and flavor as our regular beans. They're just a different size or shape.
I wish we had touch-o vision so you guys can feel this.